Welcome to the Well Kept Wallet Podcast, where it's all about getting you from where you are to where you want to be when it comes to your career, money, and lifestyle. And now, your host, who quit his 9-to-5 job to work from home doing what he loves, Deacon Hayes.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Well Kept Wallet Podcast. I'm your host, Deacon Hayes, and I'm glad to be with you today. I am doing this podcast for 3 reasons. The first reason is I want to help you find a job that you love. I think that all too many times people settle for a job just for the money and they don't find something that they actually enjoy. And so you get stuck in this rut where you're working someplace and you wish you could be doing something else and you just don't know how to figure that out. And so that's the first reason. The second reason is so that you and I can learn from people that actually do what they love for a living. And, even though I work for myself from home and love what I do as a financial coach and helping people get from where they are to where they want to be with their finances, I think that learning from people in different industries can also be helpful to me as well as to you in trying to figure out how to find that career that we love or how to optimize a career that we love. And the third reason is because I want to help you achieve your financial goals in life. And I think that one of the keys to doing that is to find a career that you actually enjoy, using your gifts, talents, and abilities to serve others. And I think when you do that, the money will follow. And so that's why I'm doing this podcast. And I want to tell you a little bit about me so you know where I'm coming from and maybe why I have some credibility to tell you about this. So a few years ago, I started as a financial planner for a great firm. I love the people, I love the mission of the firm, but we were dealing with high net worth individuals. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I have a passion for the everyday person, the person that doesn't necessarily have the tools and resources or the money to hire an advisor at the level that I was working at. And so I decided to start writing a blog called wellkeptwallet.com to help people with their finances to get from where they are to where they want to be. And so when we were getting out of debt, I created this blog to really reach out to people and help them, giving them practical tips that I was using, that my wife and I were using to get out of debt. And so we had the privilege of being featured in the U.S. News and World Report, as well as being flown out to New York City to be on Fox News' morning show called Fox and Friends. And we were able to share a story on how we paid $52,000 off in debt in 18 months. And our goal was to just truly help other people do the same, because debt can be binding and can really be restrictive in being able to enjoy life. It causes money fights with your spouse. It causes the inability to travel, the inability to give, the inability to save for the future. And so really we wanted to help people become debt free. And so we were able to use these media experiences to get more and more exposure and be able to help more and more people. And it had been such a privilege. Well, I had this one experience, this Fox News deal specifically, where I went to my employer and said, hey, I'm going to be on Fox News. What can I and what can I say when I'm on there? Because we were regulated by the SEC at the time and needed to have everything go through compliance. Long story short, they went to compliance and they said my website was a conflict of interest with the company that I was working for. And I said, how can that be? I've submitted everything through compliance from my website to my curriculum to my ads. And they said it was because I had Google ads that had competitors on my website to the company that I was working for. And so, if someone was searching for Merrill Lynch prior to coming to my website and then they came to my website, a Merrill Lynch ad might pop up, and that was a conflict of interest. And I totally understood. I told them that I could take the ads down. That would be no problem. But then we started getting into this heart-to-heart conversation about, well, we noticed that you've got this website and you're helping all these people and you're getting all this exposure. What do you want to do with your career? I mean, do you see yourself here in the next 10 years? And I had to be honest. I said, I don't, because I just have a passion for the average person. And I just know that where I am in this company is just not reaching that desire that I have to help people that are just the everyday person, And so we worked out a great deal, and they were very generous as far as taking care of me. However, I had to go out on my own. And the beauty is that at that point in time, I had already been making money on the side with my website. In the month I quit my job, I was making $2,600 in income from ads on my website, as well as some other income on top of that. So I knew that this was going to be something that I could run with, and I wouldn't have to worry about the financial side of things. So one of the first things that I did was create a class called Debt Free in 18 Months to help people set a goal and then figure out how to achieve it, how to work backwards, right? So if you have $18,000 in debt, you want to be out of debt in 18 months, that means you've got to come up with an extra $1,000 a month. How do you do that? There's two ways. You increase your income and you decrease your expenses. And so I was really excited about this class and really trying to get it out there and help people. I decided that as a promotion for this podcast, that I'm going to allow this class to be a free class. So instead of charging people $10 per person to go through this class or per couple, it's free. All you have to do is go to wellkeptwallet.com/classes, and Debt Free in 18 Months is the first one right there. You can sign up for that class. If getting out of debt is something that you want to do, I would love to offer that to you at no cost so that you can do it. And I have free forms that you can download and resources there. But this podcast isn't about getting out of debt, even though I have a lot of experience with that. This podcast is really about helping you find a career that you love. So I'm going to interview entrepreneurs and people in different career fields that you can learn from to figure out what you want to do with your life. And for the second episode of the Well Kept Wallet podcast, I'm going to interview John Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire, one of the top business entrepreneur podcasts out there, who makes over $12,000 a month with his podcast. I'm going to interview him about what he does for a living, which is podcasting, and why he does it, why he loves it, what's the hardest part of about what he does, so that you can learn. Maybe you want to do a podcast about something that you're passionate about. You can learn from John Dumas, and so that will be in episode 2. I also interviewed comedian Dan Ninen, who's opened up for the likes of Russell Peters and performed for people like Barack Obama and Donald Trump, and he's just hilarious. He's 100% clean comedian. So I've got some great people lined up to interview to say, hey, this is what they love to do, and this is how they got there. And hopefully that's an encouragement to you. If you're in a job that you don't necessarily enjoy and you're looking to find a career that you love, then I encourage you to subscribe to my podcast, as I will be interviewing people from all walks of life to give you a path from a job that you don't enjoy to a job that you love. Thanks for listening to the first episode of the Well Kept Wallet podcast. For more information about this specific episode, go to wellkeptwallet.com/episode 1. See you next time.
We hope that you've enjoyed this edition of the Well Kept Wallet podcast with Deacon Hayes, where it's all about getting you from where you are to where you want to be when it comes to your career, money, and lifestyle. Be sure to tune in next time.